Hi, my name is Davin Sundvik with the House Hacker Tribe, and today we're going to be going over inflation. So, inflation is a super hot topic. We're coming off of a really hectic inflation season, and then now we have the Federal Reserve raising interest rates to continue to battle inflation. Now, I'm not going to go over the economics of interest rates and things like that in this video, but what I am going to do is I am going to go over how inflation impacts your lifestyle and what you can do to prevent inflation from impacting your lifestyle the most. I think the first thing that we have to understand is that there's really two major societal responses to inflation, right? So we either have a correction, right? And a correction just means that compared to the amount of price that it costs to live, right? The cost of living, that cost decreases compared to the average hourly wage, right? At the end of the day, that is a true correction. So if wages go up or prices go down compared to the hourly wage, then you're essentially having a correction in inflation in the downward direction, which makes things more affordable. And that will happen in the temporary. But there's another thing that can happen too, and that is that we will have paradigm shifts. Paradigm shifts are large mindset changes within society where you see a drastic change in behavior, and some of those are for economic reasons. So this would be like an economic paradigm shift. And so what that might look like is, for example, in the 1950s and in the 1940s, we had a lot of single income family homes. And now in 2023, it'd be very, very rare to find a single family home. Matter of fact, unless you're a single parent, if you have two parents in the home, you're normally going to have a double income marriage at this point in time. And that's just from economic pressures. So either those two things are going to happen. And look back in society, right? Temporarily, yeah, things do get more affordable sometimes. But most of the time, in long-term periods of time, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 50 years, things get less affordable. And people just change their behaviors. So if you are living a certain lifestyle and you want to prevent that behavior change, you need to then protect yourself from inflation. Now, I'm not talking about students or people who have temporary lapses of income, right? So if you're going back to school, you're going to do a trade program or whatever you're doing, and then at the end of that program, you're going to get a job, that's definitely way more important to get through that 2-year season of life before worrying about inflation. What I'm talking about here is those subtle forces that go on in the background for 30, 40, 50 years that prevent people from retiring. And so if you can think like that, if you think of how do I make sure that I don't prevent myself from retiring, I think that it becomes very obvious what to do financially. So why is it obvious to me? Well, inflation is impacted about 30% by the cost of your housing. So if you just took control of your housing bill and you reduce the impacts of inflation on you by 30%, you're going to be much more likely to be able to afford your lifestyle in the future, in your retirement years, than if you don't buy a home and you subject yourself to inflation. Now, temporarily speaking, yes, it can be very attractive to rent. And so that's why, like I said, if you're in a short-term season of life where you've got some very, very specific short-term goals and you absolutely can't commit to what you're going to be doing and setting down some roots, then buying real estate is definitely not for you. But if you're worried about the next 20 years of your life and you're ready to set down some roots and really start building some wealth, you need to consider home ownership. And so if you want, you can always give me a call, reach out to my business, davinsundvik.com. Links will be in the description below. And I look forward to servicing you if I'm going to be your realtor. And if not, if you need a realtor in another state, I do have a national network of realtors that I'd be happy to help to introduce you to because I'm going to make sure that they're vetted, that they think a lot like me, and they're going to help you build wealth in real estate, prevent some of that inflation that's going to be affecting you over your lifetime, and help you be more prosperous. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.